It's Mitch Allen. It's Sunday the 10th. Just out doing some videotaping. This is a reclaimed water main that was being put in. This is Posner Park. It's been here for years, but when the crash happened, it didn't get developed. But now they've started putting in the reclaimed water mains along this road that, in my opinion, should have been put in during the planning stage before the road got built. Because what you're looking at here, you notice a distinct color change in the road surface. And what you're looking at is an area that had to be replaced because when they bored under this road to put this new reclaim main in, tying in, this reclaim main is going to tie into the main that was over there. That was probably put in when Posner Park started, probably 10 years ago. And you can see the road got patched because they damaged it during the bore. And if you notice the distinct color change in the concrete sidewalk, the sidewalk was put in when the road was built. This section of road was probably built almost 10 years ago. And you notice the whole, a long strip, I'm going to guess it to be probably 40 to 50 feet of concrete had to be replaced, as well as all of this is new sod. You can see the sod lines, you know, where they had to replace all this sod that was already sodded once by us. They had to put this little strip back in. And here's, you know, they're tying sewer and reclaim water, getting it from over across the street and getting it over to this side, and then it's going to run on down the road, which I'll go down there and show some more. What I think is money that was it shouldn't have had to be spent if they had just put these pipes in at the time of road construction. And they knew the developments were going to come. That's why they built the road. And there's multiple access points, is what they call them, where they know the development's coming, so they put the access points in. But here's the end of where they had to replace probably 50 feet of sidewalk. I'm going to look into what it cost per square foot of sidewalk. But yeah, that's a sewer valve over there, which indicates it's going to be a force main. I'm not sure what these triangle of pipes is indicating, but it's probably a marker point for surveying. But yeah, I mean, they build these roads with a 10 or 20 year contingency plan on development. So they know these developments are coming. They put the access points in, but they don't bother to put the water mains and the sewer mains in that they know they're going to need. And what a waste of natural products. Everything in concrete is a natural product. Sand, the aggregate, the water, it's all natural products. And then when they remove it, it becomes a recycled concrete. Some of it goes straight to the landfill. And it just doesn't make any sense to keep doing this way. You know, they just get the process out of order, and they don't put the water mains in when it would be the most cost effective. And then it ends up costing us more money to repair roads that get damaged during doing this 10 years later. I mean, they knew these developments were coming, but they didn't do it at that time. Okay, I've just moved just down the street, maybe a quarter of a mile. And this is one of the access points I'm talking about. When they built this road, they put this access point in. You know, proof that there's going to be a subdivision back here. Well, somebody left some very expensive discharge hoses here. They did a horizontal directional drill here. The big green pipe, right there. They did a horizontal directional drill that went down. There's a wetland on the other side of my truck that they bored under. And I'm sure that's what all those hoses are for. You know, when they built this road, they put the storm system in, which is that grate over there, and this manhole lid says stormwater on it. So they put the stormwater in, but they didn't do the water main and the sewer main. I'm sorry to jump all over the place, but I just love these signs. Dump, no waste, drains to lake. But yet, Fish and Wildlife are spraying pesticides, which are known toxins, straight in the water. Anyway, so now they've come through and knocked out a whole nother section of sidewalk. Okay, so this says reclaim water. It's the reclaim main, and that's another valve for the sewer. I have never seen one of these devices. Warning: do not disassemble the air valve before releasing internal pressure. I think it's got to do with the sewer force main, but don't quote me on that. But it looks like they did another bore here, but undoubtedly they did not mess up the road, because that 20 mark out there and then the 40 mark out there, those are probably footages, but the white is a good indication that they did another horizontal directional drill here. And I know this big pipe right here is sewer. The green is sewer, the purple is reclaim. Now why they're using, because the FM usually stands for force main, and why they're using purple pipe with a green wire, which is, the green is sewer, and then over here where they've got the reclaim cover on a valve, it's got a purple wire. They really shouldn't be, in my opinion, mixing purple pipe with the green pipe. I mean, they're both sewer products, but one's kind of treated sewer and the other's not. Oh, and I see they still, it looks like they have their air balloon still in here. It's something that seals it off so they can pump it full of water and test it for leaks. But, you know, they had put sod all down through here along the sidewalk, and all this sidewalk was here. And then years later, they come in to put the mains in that they should have put in and had to remove all the sidewalks. Just more and more expense on we the people. You know, our tax dollars being spent. Natural resources being wasted, becoming recycled concrete. And it just goes, you know, it goes on and on and on. Plus, when you start working along the side of the road, you got something called MOT, which is the maintenance of traffic. A very huge expense, and these barricades are part of it, but they go down the side of the road. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars to get all this stuff set up along the side of the road. Trust me, I've been doing utility work for many, many years. Bob's Barricades, you know, all these barricade companies, they make lots of money setting up MOT for construction along the side of the road. And this just makes no sense. Just like all that flex piping over there being left behind. It will sit out in the sun and rot away. And that's some very expensive hose and quick disconnect fittings. Very expensive stuff. But the curbing gets busted, concrete sidewalks get taken out, roads get damaged, and we the people are paying the bill because our public officials and the engineers and architects don't think far enough ahead to put the sewer and water mains in at the time of road construction. Because trust me, you would save a ton of money, and you wouldn't have to remove concrete. Boy, this doesn't look good. Looks strange. this big crack separation. Yeah, because you can see right there the black stuff. This stuff right here was against this other side over here. This thing has separated, which tells me this sidewalk and what it's standing on is moving. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. Because this black stuff is what they call expansion joint. You know? And it's usually sandwiched between both places. Yeah, I mean, and this concrete, if I'm not mistaken, would have been poured at the same height as this. And there's a inch to inch and a half lip there. This is the wetland I'm talking about that they horizontal directionally drilled under. Yeah, and wow, because this sidewalk seems to be getting, the crack seems to be getting skinnier. And of course, they've sprayed all the grass growing up out of the crack with a herbicide, pesticide, right next to our water body, right next to the stormwater curb, which takes it down to that sign that says, you know, drains to lake. Yeah, you can see right here, that's that black stuff I was pointing at down there that's an expansion joint. See how it's up against both sides of the concrete? But down there's a big gap, which is definitely a sign that that bridge or the sidewalk part is sinking and pulling away from the road. And yeah, you can see the bow. I mean, I don't know if this camera is going to pick it up, but I can see a bow in the concrete and the railing down at that other end. But again, dump no waste, drains to lake. But yet they can spray and kill these weeds and it's going to drain to the lake. Here's another one of those access points I'm talking about. See how the curbing goes down? And they've got these are handicap warnings that they're required to put in, which I'm all good with that. But they put this access in knowing that there's an entrance going to go in there. But yet they didn't put any water mains, sewer mains, or the reclaim lines in at the time they were building this road. And that building right over there, it's a duplex, I believe. It may be a quadplex, but I believe it's just a duplex. But there may be 4 units in it. Nobody's ever moved into them. And I'll put money on the reason why nobody moved into them, because he built over there too early. I mean, that's a whole subdivision. You can see all the green sewer clean out sticking up. They put all the sewer and water in over there, but they had nothing to tie to out here. And without a water main or a sewer main, he could not complete what he was doing. And I wouldn't doubt he probably sued the county and is probably being paid tens of thousands of dollars per month because they didn't get him the water main and sewer main so that he could sell these condos or whatever they're going to call them. Because you can see another one that was under construction, all those white pipes over there sticking up is where he had started a second building but stopped because he found out the sewer and water main was not going to get here for him to open up, because I promise you those houses over there are empty. I'm going to pause this. Oh, if you notice, the concrete right here is flush. All the way around, it's flush. So my statement earlier that concrete, the sidewalk was poured even with that stormwater inlet. You know, that is a stormwater inlet. But the other end is not level, not smooth transition. But it's a sign that this thing is moving. What I'm walking on is shifting. Man, I wonder how that happened. Yeah, that's not a bicycle. And I don't see where cars pulled up here, but that's kind of strange. Oh, these are signs that some kind of track hoe went across this sidewalk. You see the little, some kind of something on tracks went across here. Now I don't see the other line, but that's different. I just wonder how that damage happened, because construction is tough on things, and the construction workers don't always really pay attention to what's going on. But this crack right here, man, is a definite sign that this thing is shifting to my left right now. And this right here says it's sinking. Wow. More damage to the concrete. Could be due to construction. But here they spray these herbicides. Sorry to jump around, but when I see stuff, I can't help but speak to it. And I'm just looking down this rail, because it definitely, you know, it's moved. It's got a good 2-inch gap where it's moved. And it's definitely got some bowage to the handrail. And this end, I can't tell. It sure does look like it's sinking and moving. But anyway, I'm going to pause this and drive on down there to show that those buildings down there are empty. So I'm down here at the entrance to, I'm not sure what they're going to call this. I mean, it's got, I guess, maybe Posner Estates, starting at $230,000. But these were, you know, JEL was the site developer. It looks like this first unit, they had a pool put in. Looks like it was probably set up as a sales office. And there's another one of those reclaim signs. But they had no reclaim to be able to tie to, because they're just now getting the reclaim line in. And they have no sewer main to tie to, because they're just now getting that part in. So these other units, it looks like a 3. It looks like a 3-unit, maybe a 4-unit place. I'm just looking at the sliding glass doors. And if you notice, none of them have any window blinds on them or window treatments. They're empty, because nobody ever moved into them. Because you can't live in a house that don't have water. You can't live in a house that you can't poop. You know, I don't know how else to say it. They had no water and sewer. So I guarantee you, this guy either got really hurt really bad financially because he built this and could not sell because he had no access to water. But my understanding is they're able to go after the county, which approved this and said, we will have water to you, we will have sewer to you, but then it didn't happen. Oh man, just got me a steel stake. I'll take that with me, because it works well for setting up concrete floorboards. But yeah, it's a real shame that the county didn't get everything to this. But this is all being built in very low-lying land. You know, most of everything up and down this road would be considered wetlands, or were wetlands at one time until the artificial drainage came. I mean, I look at the wall. I mean, all of this drops off into low-lying land. And back there you can see cattails or sawgrass, whatever you want to call it. It all drops off. I mean, look at, it drops off probably 6-8 feet from the elevation of this road. They filled all of this in. And they built all these access points, but didn't put no water mains in, because right over there, that's another driveway of some sort. You can tell by how the curbing goes, and that it's an area that can be driven up on like a driveway. And the 3 red marker says don't drive off of it because it drops off 6-8 feet. Anyway, I'm going to drive on down this road and show some more of the wasted of we the people's money by poor planning. Okay, you can see this is what I'm talking about, the road, or MOT, maintenance of traffic. You got to put all these barricades up, got to put these signs up. This all costs money. And man, all this concrete that's busted. So I'm going to pull in one of these little access and get out and show some more wasted we the people's money. This is insane. You know, because they're putting these water mains in way behind what they should have been doing. You know, another expense, when this road was built, they had, I guarantee you, lots of this silk fencing. It's a erosion control pollution device they put along anytime you're doing work along the side of the road. They get paid about $5 a lineal foot or trench footage for putting that stuff in. It's a very lucrative business, but it costs we the people for them to put that in. It also is going to cost us to fix this, because as you can see, they've already got it marked from arrow to arrow that they have to replace this. And yep, arrow to arrow. So here's another 15-20 feet from this arrow down to that arrow down there that has to be replaced because the construction cracked all this stuff off. So I'm going to assume that this 30 is 30 feet. So the last one said 6, so there's 36 feet. And now here's another arrow and a whole bunch more damage done. Which, believe me, this company that bid this, they're not paying for it. They may show that they paid for it, but they knew this was going to happen. So now we're at 86 feet of concrete to be replaced. And for some reason, they didn't catch this little part that's all cracked off. Somebody will end up having to replace that as well. And here's another crack. It's right there, but they start the mark right here. It's another 18 feet, so I was at what, 56? It's 66, 74 feet of concrete because of this construction. And there was just a news report out about the tall weeds in people's yards. This is county right of way. Nobody's put this back the way it should be. I realize construction is still happening, but you know, nobody's cleaning it up. There's more damage. And this is where the circle says there was a crane or something that put a platform down. Okay, another arrow. You can see all this is crunched off, all the damage. So where were we? 84 feet, 74 feet, and another 40, 114 feet of concrete to be replaced, plus all that I showed up there. Another 18 feet, so 114, 124, 132 feet of concrete to be replaced. Natural resource that takes a hell of a lot of mining to get all this out of the ground, which isn't real environmentally friendly. And this is either going to go to a landfill, it will probably go to a concrete recycling center, but those places are noisy as hell. They create a hell of a lot of dust, and it's just really unnecessary because these water mains and the sewer main that are going in here should have been put in when this road was built. It just is so frustrating to be a utility contractor and see this. Wow. And see all these barricades, all this MOT, if they had done this when the road construction started, all of this was not being traveled. It was road construction. They could have put these in then built the road, then done the curbing, then done the sidewalk, and the mains would have all been put in. That would be cost effective or cost efficient. But no, let's not do it that way. And now I done forgot how many hundreds of feet of concrete had to be replaced, but I can see more orange marks up here on this sidewalk. And these are all trip hazards at this point. Bicyclists, whatever, they're all a hazard. And none of this is properly marked off that this sidewalk is closed. So there's another 122 feet. I think we were at 114 down there. So now we're at 136. You know, what a waste of our money. 136 and another 6. So 142. 142 feet of sidewalk. And I'm going to say this is a 6-foot sidewalk. Yep, 6 foot. So 142 feet times 6 for the square footage. It's 600, I don't know, somewhere close to, oh, I can't do the math. 142 times 6. It's 840, give or take. I think 840 square feet of concrete that's going to have to be re-poured. And of course, whoever's doing the orange marking just throws the paint can over there right next to the wetland. No big deal. Aerosol can, orange paint. Yeah, it couldn't hurt the wetland. But yeah, you can kind of see how much of a drop off from the road. It's at least 6 foot, and it all goes off into this wetland. But they couldn't do this in the right process and put it in when it should have gone in. And now we've got all this concrete to replace. Sidewalks should be closed down, but it's not. Man. And we got more and more of the MOT, another 30-foot mark, 10-foot mark, 60-foot mark. This is all destroyed concrete, 18, 16, you know, so we're going to be up in the 200s. There's another 20-foot. Another 18-foot, another 6-foot, another access point, 10-foot, 40-foot, 6-foot, 18, 12. I mean, this is just insanity that they've destroyed all this concrete doing something they should have done. That's another 16. I'm going to total these up when I go back and review this. But the destruction, man. They had another bore right there where they went under that little waterway. But all this MOT, man, this costs thousands and thousands of dollars for these things to be set up, and they're rented. You know, you basically rent these barricades. They come out and set them up. And look at all this concrete. You got 166 feet of concrete missing, or, well, damaged down to here. Another 166 feet. Another 6 foot. Another 20 foot. 10 foot. 10 foot. 6 foot. 10 foot. 120 foot. I mean, all of this right here. Wow. 120. Another 16 or 18. Yeah, I'm gonna pull over and see what I see. I believe this is another area where they did some horizontal directional drilling. But you can see the wetland over there. Sorry. I am all over the place when I'm trying to get out of the truck without getting run over. So there's another 18. Man, unfreaking real. And see, this is another access point. You can see how it's like a little driveway that's going to access that gate. But it's all wetland. So are they going to develop this and fill in this wetland? So here's another 18. And there is no reason why all of this should have happened this way. If they would just do what they're supposed to do. I'm hoping they're not filling all this, that they're planning development around through all this wetland. Yeah. I don't really know what all this says. Center line, locate center line. So we got another 7 feet right here. You know, all of this is all concrete that was put in, I'm going to say probably 8 years ago, maybe 10. And they should have done. So here's 14 more feet. And that's what's doing the damage right there. The big diesel cat. Yeah. Freaking hose. Tearing up our wetland, tearing up our sidewalks. And they didn't mark this one. But you can see this is where this track hoe right here backed up over this shit. Why is he doing that? You know, to put it over there? It's crazy. Another 6 foot. And again, they got purple pipe over top of the sewer main, because the green wire is definitely sewer. But they're using reclaimed pipe for their valve markers. Doesn't make sense. And then they destroyed this electrical box that feeds this light up here. And they'll end up having to replace that. And it's we the people's money that's paying for all of this. You know, these contractors get paid very well for doing what they do.